Why do so many people feel exhausted, even when they haven't done anything truly difficult? Why does modern life make us louder, busier, and yet strangely weaker inside? Most people believe strength comes from doing more, saying more, thinking more. But Stoic philosophy says the opposite. We live in a world of constant noise, notifications, opinions, explanations, endless mental chatter. Your mind never rests, your mouth rarely stops, your attention is pulled in 100 directions, and slowly, without realizing it, your inner strength begins to leak away. The Stoics understood something timeless. Power is not built through excess, but through restraint. Not by reacting faster, but by reacting less. Not by proving yourself, but by mastering yourself. True strength begins the moment you stop letting every thought control you. True strength grows when you stop explaining yourself to everyone. And true strength multiplies when you reclaim your focus from a distracted world. In this video, you'll discover how thinking less, talking less, and focusing more can quietly rebuild your mental power, without force, without noise, and without needing anyone's approval. 1. Think less. Why overthinking is quiet. Self-sabotage. Overthinking feels productive, but it is one of the most subtle forms of self-destruction. It disguises fear as intelligence and hesitation as wisdom. You replay conversations, imagine outcomes that never happen, and argue with ghosts that exist only in your mind. Instead of protecting you, overthinking slowly drains your energy and confidence. Most people believe that thinking more will give them control. The Stoics understood the opposite. A mind that never rests becomes weak, reactive, and easily overwhelmed. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your life is shaped not by events, but by the judgments you attach to them. Overthinking multiplies those judgments until even simple decisions feel heavy. Think about how often your mind runs ahead of reality. You plan for rejection before it happens. You feel guilt for mistakes already finished. You suffer future pain long before it ever arrives. This is not preparation. This is unnecessary suffering created by the mind itself. Stoicism does not ask you to stop thinking. It asks you to think only when thinking is useful. The Stoic mind observes first, judges second, and acts last. When your thoughts begin to spiral, the discipline is not to solve them, but to interrupt them. Pause. Notice the emotion underneath the thought. Ask yourself whether this thought helps you act with virtue right now. There is a hidden strength in mental restraint. When you stop feeding every thought, you regain clarity. When you stop rehearsing imaginary disasters, your nervous system calms. You begin to respond to life as it is, not as your fear imagines it to be. Modern life rewards constant mental noise. We are encouraged to analyze everything, explain everything, and anticipate every outcome. But strength is not built by exhausting your mind. Strength is built when you trust yourself enough to act without mental chaos. The Stoics trained their minds like warriors train their bodies. They did not wrestle every thought. They chose which ones deserved attention. This is where true power begins. Not in endless analysis, but in decisive calm. From today forward, practice thinking less by thinking better. When a thought does not help you act with clarity, discipline, or courage, let it pass. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses whether to follow them. This practice will feel uncomfortable at first because overthinking has become familiar, almost comforting. But familiarity is not a strength. Each time you choose stillness over mental noise, you reclaim authority over yourself. Over time, this restraint compounds. Decisions become cleaner, emotions lose their grip, confidence grows quietly. You stop wasting energy on what might happen and start investing it in what you can actually do. This is how the Stoic mind becomes unshakable, by refusing to live inside imaginary battles and choosing presence instead. Strength begins when the mind learns to stand still. 2. Talk less. How words quietly drain your power. Most people do not realize how much strength they lose every time they speak unnecessarily. Words feel harmless, but they shape how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. When you talk too much, you give away information, emotion, and authority without noticing. You begin explaining, defending, justifying, and filling silence out of discomfort rather than purpose. In modern life, silence is often mistaken for weakness. We are taught to speak up, share everything, and constantly express our thoughts. But Stoic philosophy teaches something far more uncomfortable and far more powerful. Restraint in speech is a form of self-mastery. The less you say, the more weight your words carry. Think about how often people talk when they feel insecure. They over-explain their decisions. They narrate their struggles. They complain, hoping to be understood or validated. Each time this happens, they unconsciously lower their position, not because their problems are insignificant, but because uncontrolled speech reveals uncontrolled emotion. The Stoics understood that dignity does not need narration. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to act without announcing it, to improve without seeking applause. Silence was not avoidance, it was discipline. When you speak only when necessary, you signal that you are not driven by impulse. You become harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, and harder to read. Words also train how people treat you. If you constantly complain, you teach others that you are comfortable being a victim. If you constantly explain, you teach them that your choices are negotiable. If you constantly react, you teach them where your emotional buttons are. None of this is accidental. Communication always has consequences. Talking less does not mean becoming cold or distant. It means choosing intentional speech over emotional release. It means allowing pauses to exist without rushing to fill them. It means responding, not reacting. When someone challenges you, silence forces them to reveal more than you ever could with words. There is a quiet confidence that comes from holding your tongue. You begin to feel grounded, centered, and less desperate for approval. Conversations slow down. People listen more carefully. Your presence becomes stronger than your explanations. This discipline feels uncomfortable at first, especially if you are used to processing emotions out loud. But strength is built in discomfort. Each time you resist the urge to overshare, you reclaim a small piece of self-respect. Over time, those pieces form something solid. Practice speaking less by asking a simple question before you talk. Is this necessary, or is this emotional? If it is emotional, sit with it. Let it pass. Not every feeling deserves a voice. When your words become fewer, your actions begin to speak louder, and when your actions speak, you no longer need to. This is the Stoic path of quiet authority, where silence protects your energy, preserves your dignity, and slowly builds a presence that does not beg to be noticed, yet cannot be ignored. 3. Why most people confuse. Noise with strength. Noise feels powerful because it creates the illusion of presence. When someone speaks loudly, reacts quickly, or constantly shares opinions, it appears as confidence. Society rewards visibility, not depth. The more you speak, the more you seem involved. The faster you react, the more you seem engaged. But this is surface-level strength, not the real kind. Most people are afraid of silence because silence removes performance. When there is no noise, there is nothing to hide behind. Silence exposes insecurity, uncertainty, and lack of control. That is why so many people rush to fill every moment with words, reactions, and explanations. They are not trying to dominate the room. They are trying to escape themselves. Stoic philosophy sees this clearly. True strength is not found in volume, but in restraint. Not in speed, but in control. Marcus Aurelius warned against becoming distracted by the noise of others, reminding himself that a disciplined mind remains untouched by chaos. The person who reacts the least often controls the situation the most. Look closely at arguments, conflicts, and emotional exchanges. The loudest voice is usually the least stable one. The person who interrupts, defends aggressively, or escalates emotionally is not in control. They are being controlled by their impulses. Noise, in this sense, is a signal of inner imbalance. Strength does not announce itself. It does not need to dominate conversations or win every exchange. Real power is calm, grounded, and selective. It waits, it listens, it observes patterns instead of chasing moments. This is why silence often feels threatening to others. It gives them nothing to push against. Modern culture confuses expression with mastery. You are encouraged to share every thought, defend every position, and respond to every provocation. But Stoicism teaches that not every challenge deserves your energy. Choosing not to engage is not a weakness. It is a strategy. When you stop reacting to noise, something changes. You begin to see how much of the world operates on emotional momentum. You notice how people reveal themselves when you do not interrupt them. You see intentions more clearly because you are no longer drowning in stimulation. Quiet strength creates space. In that space, clarity grows. Decisions become deliberate instead of impulsive. Your sense of self stabilizes because it is no longer shaped by external reactions. You stop needing to be seen and start becoming solid. This shift is uncomfortable because it removes validation. You no longer receive instant feedback. You no longer feel powerful through reaction. Instead, you build something slower and deeper. Internal authority, the kind that does not depend on applause or agreement. The Stoics did not seek dominance over others. They sought command over themselves, and that command was expressed through calm presence, measured speech, and selective engagement. In a noisy world, the strongest person is not the one who shouts the most, but the one who remains unmoved. When you let go of noise, you reclaim strength. 4. Focus more. The forgotten skill that creates real power. Focus has become rare, and anything rare becomes powerful. In a world designed to fragment your attention, the ability to concentrate deeply is no longer a productivity skill. It is a form of resistance. Every notification, every distraction, every impulse to switch tasks weakens your mental structure without you realizing it. Most people believe they are busy because they are important. In reality, they are busy because they are unfocused. They start many things and finish very little. Their energy is scattered across screens, conversations, worries, and comparisons. This constant division of attention slowly erodes inner strength. Stoic philosophy treats attention as sacred. What you give your attention to becomes your life. Marcus Aurelius warned against letting the mind wander aimlessly, reminding himself to stay anchored in the task in front of him. Focus was not about efficiency, it was about dignity. When you focus deeply on one thing, something changes inside you. Time slows, anxiety softens, your sense of direction strengthens. You stop feeling pulled apart by competing demands and begin to feel grounded in purpose. Focus gives shape to effort, and shape gives meaning. Modern life trains you to multitask, but multitasking is a lie. It does not make you faster, it makes you shallow. Each switch between tasks drains mental energy and reduces the quality of your work. Over time, this creates a quiet sense of dissatisfaction because nothing you do feels complete. The Stoics believed that excellence comes from doing one thing well, fully present. Whether writing, training, speaking, or resting, the discipline was the same. Be where you are. This is why focus feels uncomfortable at first. It forces you to confront boredom, resistance, and impatience. But those are not enemies. They are gates. When you push through distraction, you build mental endurance. You train yourself to stay when others escape. This endurance becomes strength. Not visible strength, but the kind that compounds silently over years. Focusing more also means choosing less. You cannot give deep attention to everything. Stoicism teaches you to be selective, to prioritize what aligns with your values. When you say no to distractions, you say yes to direction. There is emotional power in focus as well. When your attention is steady, emotions lose their ability to hijack you. You are less reactive, less scattered, less anxious. You begin to experience calm, not as an absence of stress, but as a presence of clarity. True power is not built by doing more. It is built by committing fully to what matters. When you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your time. When you reclaim your time, you reclaim your life. In a distracted world, focus is strength made visible through action. 5. Less reaction, more direction. Most people believe strength is proven in reaction. They think responding immediately shows confidence, intelligence, and dominance. In reality, instant reaction is often a sign of lost control. When emotions decide your behavior, someone else is driving. Stoic philosophy teaches a different path. Between stimulus and response, there is always a space. That space is where power lives. The person who can pause owns himself. The person who cannot pause is owned by the moment. Think about how often reactions cost you respect. A sharp comment triggers anger. A message creates anxiety. A criticism pulls you into defense. Each reaction feels justified, yet each one hands your emotional steering wheel to someone else. Over time, this habit weakens your sense of authority. Less reaction does not mean suppression. Stoicism never asked you to deny emotion. It asks you to delay expression until reason is present. Emotions are signals, not commands. When you respond without distance, you confuse feeling with truth. The pause is a discipline. It is uncomfortable because it interrupts habits. Your body wants release. Your ego wants defense. The Stoic chooses neither immediately. He breathes. He observes. He asks one question: what response aligns with my values, not my impulse? Direction replaces reaction when you act from principle. Direction means choosing your behavior in advance. You decide who you are before pressure arrives. This is why Stoics trained daily, not during crises. Discipline built in calm moments protects you in chaotic ones. When you stop reacting, people notice. Arguments lose fuel. Provocations fall flat. Others reveal themselves through continued behavior while you remain steady. Silence and delay become filters, separating noise from meaning. There is deep emotional relief in this practice. You stop carrying every insult home. You stop replaying moments you wish you handled differently. Regret fades because your actions become intentional. Peace grows because your identity is no longer fragile. Reaction keeps you trapped in the present moment. Direction connects you to the future you are building. Every paused response is an investment. It compounds into trust, clarity, and self-respect. Practice this today. When triggered, wait 10 seconds. Breathe slowly. Name the emotion without judging it. Then choose one action that serves your long-term character. This is not a weakness, it is mastery. Strength does not shout through reaction. It moves quietly through direction. When you control the pause, you control yourself. And when you control yourself, no moment can overpower you. This is how character is forged. Not in dramatic victories, but in small private choices. Each pause sharpens judgment. Each delayed reaction strengthens trust in yourself. Over weeks, your life gains direction. You waste less energy. You sleep with a clearer mind. You speak with intention. And slowly, without announcement, you become difficult to disturb, difficult to provoke, and increasingly capable of choosing your path instead of being dragged by circumstances. That is the quiet freedom Stoicism promises to anyone willing to practice restraint every single day without excuses or spectators watching closely. 6. Why quiet discipline always wins long term. Quiet discipline rarely looks impressive at the moment. It has no applause, no audience, and no instant reward. That is exactly why most people avoid it. They chase motivation, excitement, and recognition instead. But Stoic philosophy teaches that what grows strong in silence becomes unbreakable over time. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls with mood, energy, and circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is structural. It exists regardless of how you feel. When you rely on motivation, your progress depends on comfort. When you rely on discipline, your progress depends on commitment. This distinction defines long-term strength. The Stoics believe that character is built in private. Marcus Aurelius wrote his reflections not for the world, but for himself. His power did not come from being seen, but from being consistent. Quiet discipline creates a relationship with yourself based on trust. You do what you said you would do, even when no one is watching. Modern culture celebrates visible effort. People broadcast workouts, announce goals, and seek validation before results exist. But visibility can weaken discipline. When praise replaces progress, the work loses urgency. The Stoic understand that real growth does not need witnesses. There is emotional depth in this kind of discipline. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your self-respect grows. Each time you avoid shortcuts, your confidence stabilizes. You stop depending on external approval because your identity is anchored in action. Quiet discipline also protects you from burnout. When your focus is internal, you move at a sustainable pace. You stop forcing intensity and start building endurance. This is why Stoic strength lasts. It is not explosive, it is cumulative. Think of discipline as a long conversation with your future self. Every early morning, every focused session, every resisted distraction is a message. You are telling your future self that you cared enough to prepare. Over time, these messages form a solid foundation. This path feels lonely at first. There are fewer rewards, fewer compliments, fewer visible milestones, but solitude refines intention. You begin to act from purpose instead of pressure. The work becomes personal, not performative. Quiet discipline also sharpens clarity. When you remove noise, comparison fades. You stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring consistency. This creates emotional stability. You no longer feel behind, you feel grounded. Practice this by choosing one discipline and committing to it silently. No announcements, no explanations, just repetition. Let results speak later. This trains patience and humility at the same time. In the long run, discipline always outperforms intensity. Habits outlast bursts. Structure outlives emotion. Quiet discipline builds a life that does not collapse when motivation disappears. This is the Stoic advantage. While others search for energy, you build systems. While others burn bright and fade, you grow steady and strong. Over years, this strength compounds into something rare, a calm confidence rooted in proof, not hope. 7. Becoming untouchable in a noisy world. When you think less, talk less, and focus more, something profound begins to happen inside you. Life does not suddenly become easier, but you become steadier. You stop feeling dragged by every emotion, every opinion, every unexpected event. Instead of reacting to the world, you start moving through it with intention. Most people feel constantly exposed. Every comment affects them. Every setback shakes their confidence. Every distraction pulls them off course. This is not because they are weak by nature, but because their inner boundaries are fragile. Noise enters too easily. Opinions settle too deeply. Focus breaks too quickly. Stoic strength is different. It is not aggressive. It does not need to dominate or defend itself. It is rooted. When your mind is quieter, fewer thoughts can disturb it. When your speech is restrained, fewer words can be used against you. When your focus is protected, fewer forces can pull you off your path. This is how you become untouchable. Not invincible, but resilient. You still feel emotion, but it no longer controls your direction. You still hear criticism, but it no longer defines your worth. You still face chaos, but it no longer lives inside you. Think less, and your mind gains clarity. You stop creating suffering that does not exist. You meet reality as it is, not as fear imagines it. This clarity becomes a compass. Decisions feel simpler. Doubt loses its grip. Talk less, and your presence grows stronger. You are no longer explaining yourself to be accepted. You are no longer leaking energy through unnecessary words. Silence becomes a filter. Those who respect you stay. Those who seek control lose interest. Focus more, and your life regains direction. Your days stop feeling scattered. Your effort begins to compound. You start finishing what you begin. Progress becomes visible, not because you announce it, but because it accumulates. This combination creates a quiet transformation. You begin to trust yourself. You stop chasing validation because your actions speak internally first. Confidence becomes calm, not loud. Strength becomes stable, not reactive. In a world addicted to stimulation, this way of living feels almost radical. People may misunderstand you. They may project their discomfort onto your calm. Let them. Stoicism was never about being understood. It was about being aligned. Becoming untouchable does not mean withdrawing from life. It means engaging with it from a place of control. You choose where your energy goes. You choose what deserves your response. You choose what shapes your character. This is the strength the Stoics trained for, not dominance over others, but mastery over self. And that mastery is built quietly, daily, through restraint, focus, and discipline. When the world grows louder, you do not need to compete. You simply remain grounded. When pressure increases, you do not break. You adjust. This is true strength. Not something you prove, but something you live. Today, we explored a different definition of strength, one that doesn't rely on force, noise, or constant effort. We saw how thinking less frees your mind from unnecessary suffering, how talking less protects your dignity and preserves your energy, and how focusing more gives your life direction in a world designed to distract you. Stoic strength is not about doing more. It is about choosing better, choosing restraint over reaction, choosing silence over explanation, choosing depth over chaos. When these choices become habits, strength stops being something you chase and becomes something you embody. This philosophy only works if it is practiced. Start small. Pause before reacting today. Let one unnecessary thought pass without following it. Choose one task and give it your full attention. These simple acts, repeated daily, are how real power is built. You don't need to withdraw from the world to live this way. You only need to stop letting the world control you. Calm is not a weakness. Silence is not submission. Focus is not a limitation. They are tools, and in the right hands, they create an unshakable life. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, take it with you into your day and let action reinforce insight. I look forward to continuing this journey with you in the next video. Until then, stay disciplined, stay grounded, and keep building strength quietly.